Test 1 2 1 2. Test 1 2. 7 days ago, it was Derby Day delight for Coventry United as they narrowly defeated their city rivals Coventry Spinks with an 85th minute winner. This time, however, a very different test lays ahead of them as league leaders Alvechurch arrive at Spinks Drive. Welcome one and all to another edition of Coventry United Matchday live on YouTube. Liam Cook here, your cameraman, your presenter, your commentator, your editor. I've got my fingers in a lot of pies here at Coventry United, bringing you live exclusive coverage of this match right here on YouTube. We're going to be going through the team news very shortly. We are just 17 minutes away from kickoff at Spinks Drive, and believe me, this is not going to be an easy game for the Red and Greens. Anyone who listened last weekend in the Coventry derby will know just how close it was between a team in 7th place and 9th place. So how will Terry Anderson's men fare against the league leaders? Seriously guys, this side seem set to go up a division. I believe they're 6 points clear at the top of the Midland League Premier Division, so they are not to be taken lightly, and we all remember what happened last time these two sides played, and well, let's just say not exactly fond memories for Pierre Moodham and John Decory that day. Both men sent off in the reverse fixture, while Jamie Willett, who is in the team today, scored on his debut, scored the winning goal in injury time. So if that game sets the standard, we really are in for a terrific day at a blustery and slightly wet and chilly Spinks Drive. Let's take you through the team news after we say a big shout out to our fantastic sponsors at Graham the Plumbers Merchant, operating across the Midlands, supplying all your bathroom heating and plumbing needs. So go and check out Graham Plumbers Merchant.co.uk for store locations and the latest special offers. Firstly, for Coventry United, just the one change to the team that beat Coventry Spinks last weekend as Kevin Thornton returns from suspension to replace Muzzy Unduna. Unduna's on the bench as Chris Cox takes up the striker role. Of course, Cox with 3 goals in his last 2 games. Reece Snape returns to the bench for Coventry United after suffering a knock in an under-21s match last weekend, so he's back in the squad. As far as Alvechurch are concerned, there are 6 changes from the team that beat Brockton 4-0 in their last game. Out go Creswell, Williams, Halpin, Swanee, Shilvok and Carl Edwards. They all drop out. In come Ashmore, Willett, Bellis, Winwood, Deards and Ryan Edwards. So let's take you through the full starting lineup and benches for both sides, starting with our visitors, Alvechurch. And before we go any further, let me say a big welcome to manager Ian Long, his coaching staff, his players, and the fans of Alvechurch, who actually brought a coach load of fans over to Coventry today. So a big welcome to Ian Long and his staff. And well, here is the full starting lineup and bench for the league leaders. Number 1, Paul Evans. Number 2, Jamie Ashmore. 3, Zach Foster. 4, Tom Turton. 5, the captain, Mark Smith. 6, Jamie Willets. Number 7, Dave Bellis. 8 is Ryan Winwood. 9, Connor Deards. 10, Ryan Edmonds. And 11, Mike Wardle. And on the bench for the Church, number 12, Carl Edwards. 14, Josh McKenzie. 15, Andy Parsons. 16, Babukar Suwane. And 17, Reece Shilvok. Now there is one big, and I mean very big name, missing from the Alvechurch starting lineup. And seriously, this could well be a game changer. His name is Josh March. He's Alvechurch's top scorer by a country mile. He's hit the back of the net 29 times in 36 League and Cup matches. He's not in the team today. He was playing against Brockton last time out, so I can only assume that he's injured. So no Josh March today. And also, the goal tally isn't enough. March has been named man of the match by his opposition 8 times this season, more than any other player at Alvechurch. So a massive loss for the league leaders. Now to our home side, Coventry United, starting in goal as always. Number 1, Rich Morris. Number 2, Pierre Moodham. 3, Ben Valance. 4, Gift Musa. 5, number 5, Lewis Ison. 6, Jamie Coleman. 7, Kevin Thornton. 8 Tommy Glasgow, 9 Chris Cox, 10 Josh O'Grady, and 11 Courtney Cameron. And on the bench for the Red and Greens, number 12 Rob Prinzel, 14 Muzzy Unduna, 15 Nkosi Muzindwana, 16 Scott Hammond, and 17 Reese Snape. So those are the teams ahead of what is set to be a fantastic match here at Spinks Drive. Take through a couple of stats regarding our visitors. Alvechurch, of course, are running away with the Premier Division title. They're currently sitting first, 9 points clear, ahead of second place Coleshill Town, although Coleshill have played a game less. Remember, Coleshill have been in FA Vars action recently. As we've been saying last couple of weeks, only 3 teams in the division have conceded fewer goals than Coventry United this season, and wouldn't you know it, Alvechurch are one of them. The league leaders have the best defence in the league, with just 25 goals conceded in the league this season. That's an average of 0.75 goals conceded per match. So that's less than 1. So basically, they only concede 1.5 goals for every 2 games. It's a pretty good record. So we'll see how the Alvechurch defence lines up today against Coventry United. The Church come to Spinks Drive on the back of a 7-game winning run. Their last defeat came on the 21st of January, a 2-0 loss at AFC Wolfrunians. Of course, we've talked about Josh March, the top scorer for the Church, who is not in the team today. But David Bellis is another man to look out for. He'll be playing his 42nd match of the season for the Church this afternoon, more than any other of his teammates. So pretty special there from Dave Bellis, who is in the team today. And of course, you'll remember that the Church took all 3 points thanks to a late Jamie Willett's winner. The last time these two sides met in October, that was Willett's debut actually, so a big game for Willett. He scored the winner that day, and he is starting at centre-back in today's match. So we'll see how it all goes. Coventry United versus Alvechurch right here live on YouTube with Coventry United Match Day. If you are enjoying the coverage, don't forget to hit the like button on the YouTube video. You can also subscribe to Match Day on YouTube for more exclusive football content, and of course follow us on Twitter at CovMatchday. We're not the only Coventry-based team in action this weekend, though. No, we are not. Coventry City are away at MK Dons this afternoon. The Sky Blues looking for their first win under, well, I say new manager Mark Robbins. It's his second spell in charge, and well, hopefully the Red and Greens will be able to get the win this afternoon, just like Coventry City. Hopefully, we can live in hope, can't we? The Sky Blues haven't won in a while, so we'll see how they go. But the Red and Greens have got well, I would say a better chance, but to be fair, they're coming up against one of the best teams in the division, so it's going to be a tough old day for the Coventry-based teams. We'll try and keep you up to date with the matches, including our Coventry-based side, as much as we can. But of course, we're going to be focusing on the action here at Spinks Drive first and foremost. We told you about the fans making their way to Spinks Drive from Alvechurch, coming over in a, I believe it was a coach. They came in a coach. There they are over on the far side in the Willie Nibs Memorial Stand. There's quite a few of them. There is quite a few of them. So they have brought a very strong contingent this afternoon, and Alvechurch will be hoping that they can give those fans something special to watch. A few of the Alvechurch players are actually quite critical of the turf here at Spinks Drive. A couple of players in front of us. We're over on the far side of the ground now. We usually have been, well, this season we've been filming next to the dugouts on the side where the Williams Memorial Stand is. This time, and of course on last Saturday as well, at the Spinks United game, the Coventry derby, we're over on the far side where there's no stand, there's no seating, it's just grass over here and a couple of pitches. So we do get to see how many fans there are here, and it's a pretty decent view as well. But it is down to you, of course, where we stand. It's your show after all, so if you think we should be with the fans in the stand, let us know on Twitter. If you think we should be where we are now, then let us know as well. Let's go through some final scores before we get into today's action. We're 10 minutes away from our scheduled kick-off time, and well, the big one today today has got to be the final score at the Hawthorns. West Bromwich Albion, who also on target. Alexis Sanchez scoring the single goal for Arsenal, who had Petr Cech taken off injured in the first half. So not a very productive day for Arsenal. I mean, we've been watching, I don't know if you've heard of a certain YouTube channel called Arsenal Fan TV. Seriously, I'm thinking about bringing something like that over to Coventry United, getting the fans on YouTube for a change. But they've been saying that they honestly didn't see themselves beating West Brom. I mean, some fans have come over from Germany just to watch this match, and they were disappointed. So, it's not going very well for Arsenal. And also, there were 2 planes with different messages flown over the Hawthorns. The first one said, no new contract, # Wenger out. And another one said that Wenger should stay. So, certainly a very split fan base, very much like a Coventry City these days. In the Championship, in fact, there's been a goal. Just been a goal in the Championship, a last-minute equaliser for Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest versus Derby, with 2 new managers making their debuts for their new clubs. Mark Warburton at Nottingham Forest and Gary Rowett at Derby. And there has just been a late equaliser for Forest. It's 2-2 at the City Ground. Look at that, 90 plus 4, so 4 minutes of injury time. And Penilios, the left back, has just equalised. Zach Clough scored the first goal for Forest in the 5th minute. Vidra and Nugent scored in the second half to give the Rams the lead. But now Penilios has just equalised for Nottingham Forest in the 4th minute. Berghuizen put Preston in front. Conway then made it 2-1 after half-time, and now Aidan McGeady, formerly of Everton and CSKA Moscow, has equalised for Preston. So, a chaotic day of football, and let's just hope that we have exactly the same thing here at Spinks Drive. We are just 6 minutes away from kickoff. We'll, of course, be going through the starting lineup once again before we get going. Let's see through the fixtures in the Premier League and the Football League today. Crystal Palace take on Watford. Everton host Hull City. Stoke have got Chelsea. Sunderland host Burnley. West Ham United have Leicester. A bit of a relegation dogfight, that one. And Bournemouth versus Swansea. In the Championship, we've got Birmingham against Newcastle, Burton at home to Brentford, Ipswich travel to Cardiff, Fulham host Wolves, Norwich have got Barnsley at home, QPR versus Rotherham, Wigan versus Aston Villa, and the late kickoff is Leeds versus Brighton. That's on Sky Sports 1 if you want to watch that. In League 1, Bolton have got Northampton Town, Bradford host Swindon, Bristol Rovers have Chesterfield at home, Wimbledon travel to Fleetwood, Millwall versus Bury, Milton Keynes Dons versus Coventry City, Oxford United against Scunthorpe United, Peterborough at home to Oldham, Rochdale have got Gillingham, Sheffield United host Charlton, and Southend have Walsall. Finally in League 2, Cheltenham versus Cambridge, Crewe versus Colchester, Grimsby against Crawley, Hartlepool have got Wickham, Leyton Orient versus Doncaster Rovers, Luton versus Exeter, Mansfield against Carlisle United, Blackpool travel to Newport, Plymouth have got Morecambe, Stevenage at home to Portsmouth, and finally Yeovil versus Accrington. So those are the matches that we can look forward to hearing from today on Coventry United Match Day. But before that, we can see the Red and Greens making their way down from the tunnel as we get set for another afternoon of exclusively live non-league football. You'll not hear this match anywhere else live, so make sure you strap yourselves in and get set for what I'm sure is going to be a spectacular game as the Coventry United coaching staff start making their way to the dugouts. There's Harry Barnes with his trusty substitutes board. We do now know that Harry isn't going to China. He accepted a place in a coaching academy at China, but has been informed that he's not going now, so Harry is staying put. We're getting worried then, because who's going to fill up the water bottles? Now, in all fairness, it's good to see that Harry is staying put. Terry Anderson and Luke Morton also making their way down, and we can see the Alvechurch players now in their striking yellow and black shirts. Let's just say teams in yellow and black aren't exactly popular teams in Coventry these days. And the Coventry United substitutes in front of us, including Reece Snape, Scott Hammond and Muzzy and Dewey. We see Ewan Aldridge now, the newest member of the Coventry United coaching staff. I believe he's the new goalkeeping coach. He does some work at the Strachan Academy as well. And, well, would you know, I went to school with Ewan, so we get set for the players to come down. Well, the players are already down. We're just waiting for them to come through the tunnel now. Very blustery Spinks Drive awaits the arrival of Coventry United and the league leaders Alvechurch, and here they come. This is set to be a cracking encounter in Coventry. It's Coventry United, it's Alvechurch, it's the Midland League Premier Division, and it's live on Coventry United Match Day. Today's coverage, as always, sponsored by our good friends at Graham the Plumbers Merchant, operating across the Midlands, supplying all your bathroom, heating and plumbing needs. So check out grahamplumbersmerchant.co.uk for store locations and the latest special offers. Into the team news now. Firstly, for our visitors of Alvechurch, number 1, Paul Evans. 2, Jamie Ashmore. 3, Zach Foster. 4, Tom Turton. Number 5, Mark Smith. 6, Jamie Willets. 7, Dave Bellis. 8, Ryan Winwood. Number 9, Connor Deards. 10, Ryan Edmonds. And 11, Mike Wardle. On the bench for the Church, number 12, Carl Edwards. 14, Josh McKenzie. 15, Andy Parsons. 16, Babu Karswane. And 17, Reece Shilvok. For Coventry United, this afternoon in goal, number 1, Rich Morris. 2, Pierre Mudim. 3, Ben Valance. 4, Gift Musa. 5 is Lewis Ison. 6, Jamie Coleman. Number 7, Kevin Thornton. 8, Tommy Glasgow. 9, Chris Cox. 10, Josh O'Grady. And 11, Courtney Cameron. And on the bench for the Red and Greens, number 12, Rob Prinzel. 14, Muzzy Nduna. 15, Nkosi Muzindwana. 16, Scott Hammond. And 17, Reece Snape. So those are the starting lineups as the Red and Greens welcome the league leaders. Both sides with exceptionally good defences. United with the 4th best defence in the league. Alvechurch with the best. It's 0.75 goals conceded for the Church this season. It's down to Coventry United and namely Chris Cox to break that record down. Cox scored his 10th goal of the season in League and Cup on Saturday when United narrowly beat Coventry Spinks by 1-0. 85th minute winner from Cox. As Cox and the opposing skipper Mark Smith, I've got to say, towers over Chris Cox. One of the biggest players I've ever seen. I think Peter Crouch has come down to non-league for a bit. And they meet in the centre, shake hands, and they return to their teams. 6 changes made to Alvechurch's lineup from their 4-0 win against Brockton last time out. Just the one change with Kevin Thornton returning slightly fresher than I expected after St Patrick's Day. He's back from suspension to replace Muzzy and Nduna. And the big news, of course, is that Chris Cox is starting up front for the Red and Greens. The captain with 3 goals in his last 2 matches. We'll be looking to strike it lucky here today. He's played up front before. It hasn't exactly worked out for him. It's down to Coxey and the Red and Greens to show Alvechurch what they can do on their own patch. It was a sensational end to the game last time out in October when Alvechurch narrowly, and I mean narrowly, beat Coventry United. It was Willets with the winning goal that day. Let's see what we can expect now. Coventry United versus Alvechurch is underway at Spinks Drive. Let's get this party started. Long ball down the right hand side, cut out well by Ben Valance. Alvechurch pick up the ball, however. Deards onto the right hand side. Valance able to nod it away, and it's an early throw in now for Alvechurch. And it would have been a crossing opportunity from the right hand side, but sadly for the Church, Dave Bellis was, sorry, it wasn't Bellis, it was Ryan Edmonds who was offside and had to let the ball go. So Rich Morris gets his first touch on the ball, slightly earlier than expected. Booted away by Rich Morris. Into the centre circle, nodded on by Chris Cox. Smith gets there. Nodded on again by Winwood. United bring it back. Ison puts it up forward. Glasgow couldn't get a touch and devoted to Chris Cox. Here's Deard. Musa does well, gets stuck in. But once again, United lose possession in the midfield. Wardle strides down the left-hand side. He's got Mudim for company. And it's going out for a throw to Coventry United. Mudim is going to want some revenge against Alvechurch. When these two sides met in October, there was 2 sending offs Jean de Corey, who ironically is suspended today after being sent off a couple of weeks ago. He's got a 3-match suspension. He's not in the team today, but Pierre Mudim is. He was booked twice and was sent off as Alvechurch appeal for a foul immediately. Lovely ball down the right hand side. Ashmore puts it in, and early opportunity for Alvechurch to try and divert it into goal. It's up the line by Pierre Mudim. It's saliva, it's in! And Alvechurch have got the advantage early on. United couldn't clear the danger, and Connor Deards has put it into an empty net. And even worse news for Coventry United as Courtney Cameron lays injured on the ground. The best possible start for the Church. 2 minutes in and already the league leaders showing their dominance. Ball in from the right hand side. United just couldn't quite get the ball to safety. And eventually it was squared to Connor Deards. And the Church have an early advantage. Coventry United 0, Alvechurch 1. As the Coventry United man is still receiving treatment. And in fact it's Lewis Eisen. It's not Courtney Cameron, it's Lewis Eisen who's down. Well, that couldn't have been a worse start for Coventry United, really. Lewis Eisen on the ground, starting to stir. And United already down by 1-0. I don't think Ian Long could have hoped for a better start for Alvechurch. And now the Red and Greens have got to do their bit and get back into this match. Terence and Selin is meant to wake up. The travelling Alvechurch faithful very happy with what they've seen so far in the first couple of minutes. What will be the red and green response? Here we go. Restarted. Lewis Eisen's back on the pitch. He seems okay now. Put it down the right hand side by Pierre Mudim towards Chris Cox. Smith should deal with this one easily. He puts it up line. Kept in by Foster. Ball forward to Deards, who's just shrugging off the ball. Here's Jamie Coleman. Valence free on the left hand side. And a wayward ball from Jamie Coleman. It will be picked up by the goalkeeper, Paul Evans. So if you're just joining us here on Coventry United Match Day, you've missed a goal already. Alvechurch leading by 1-0. Connor Deards with a close range tap in. Paul Evans taking his time with this one. And eventually he's punted it clear. Musa jumps, can't quite bring it down however. Deards. And Lewis Eisen comes away with the ball. United look to break. Poor first touch from O'Grady allows Alvechurch to catch up. Mudim plays it back into fence with Lewis Eisen. Mudim wants to get on the right flank. Forward ball and a push from behind by Mark Smith on Chris Cox, was a little bit soft. The referee's given the foul. And the referee is not going to be taking any lip in this game. He's ordering the players away. Well, Coventry United have got to try and get themselves back into this one and quickly. It's going to be a delivery from Josh O'Grady into the penalty area. The far post is Chris Cox and it's headed over by Mark Smith for the corner. Not many people can beat the leaping ability of Chris Cox, but the sheer size of Mark Smith was enough to clear the danger, albeit briefly, as the corner is set to come in. Courtney Cameron is going to take it from the left-hand side. Everyone but Valence and Mudim forward. Deards back for Alvechurch. Glasgow provides the short option. It's punted in. Eisen got the touch to it. Coleman's in. Smith heads it out of the box. Appeals for a foul by Alvechurch. Nothing given. In fact, no, it hasn't been given. That's a free kick. And United's first meaningful attack comes. MK Dons. Coleman volleys it away. The chase is on. Willits will get there ahead of Chris Cox. He'll try and let that one go. Cox barges into him, but can't keep it in. Good work from Jamie Willits. Willits made his Alvechurch debut against Coventry United in October and scored a last-minute winner after the sending offs of Pierre Mudim and Jean de Corey. And already Alvechurch lead by 1-0 as Evans' clearance Bounces towards us. Sweet to the camera. Taken quickly. 1-2 between Valance and Thornton. Thornton can't get to the rebound. Courtney Cameron puts it through for Chris Cox, who couldn't bring the ball under control. And it's in the grateful grasp of Paul Evans. Evans' clearance. Ison will leap for it. He gets on the end of it. Thornton, nice little turn to keep it under control. Onto the left with Ben Valance. Up line by Valance. Cox will try and get there, but Willett should have this one under control. Plays it back to Paul Evans in goal. Evans swipes at it, and it will drift towards the right-hand side. Kept it by Valance. Thornton tries to put it through the legs of the midfielder. Can't quite do so. Valance brings it back as Bellis couldn't retain possession. Onto the right with Moodim. Gift Musa. Moodim. Glasgow controls well. Now Josh O'Grady tries to trick his way down the right hand side. It's still O'Grady. Switches to the left hand side. Will Valance get there? No, he won't. Edmonds switches onto the left hand side, looking for Wardle. It bounces towards Moodim, but Wardle gets the tackle in. Still Wardle. Wardle on the left hand side. Good tackle by Pierre Moodim, just keeps it in. And Coventry United clear the danger. It goes out in front of the dugouts. Alvechurch leading by 1-0 thanks to that quick goal from Deards. It's going to be a throw into Alvechurch. As the rain starts to fall. Deards forced onto the left hand side, and the return ball drifts out of play. And it will be a Coventry United ball. Ison hoofs it forward, and nodded straight out of play again by Tom Turton. United will pick up the ball once again with the throw in there. Eking forward. Ison for a little bit too long, and Smith nodded away. Deards under pressure from Pierre Moodim to find Dave Bellis. Edmonds on his right hand side. He's found Edmonds. Edmonds chests it back into midfield. Ashmore chases. Jamie Ashmore picks it up. Valance comes across to try and block the fullback. Ashmore still going. Ashmore needs support now as he's forced into the corner. A bit of a stumble there from the right back, and a barge into the shoulder by Ben Valance. And Ashmore can't keep it in. Coventry United goal kick. And good work from Ben Valance early on. So around 10 minutes gone. Coventry United still 1-0 down at home to league leaders Alvechurch. The Church have looked a little bit frail in the last couple of minutes. So the Red and Greens have certainly got an opportunity to get back into this one. Here's Pierre Moodim. Cameron's got space on the left hand side. He tries a long ball and it's blocked well by Bellis. Alvechurch, of course, without their top scorer, March. It hasn't stopped them from scoring the early goal. Ison picks it up in Coventry United's defensive area. Grady brought down from behind. Referee says no foul, and Alvechurch will pick up possession. Edmonds onto the left-hand side. Deards tries to get the cross in, and he out-tricks himself, and Ison will pick it up. Here's Moodim. Deflects to Kevin Thornton, surrounded by yellow shirts, and it's worked for Alvechurch. The pressure's won the ball back. Handball claims against Kevin Thornton, ignored as the Irishman comes away with the ball and finds Ben Valance in space on the left-hand side. Courtney Cameron steaming forward, offering a support. Here's Cameron. Cox wants it in the penalty area. Glass goes in there as well. Cross put in towards the far post where Chris Cox is waiting. Cox gets his header on it. It goes out of play. Disappointing end to a great move for Coventry United. The cross just slightly overhit from Courtney Cameron. And Paul Evans will pick up the ball once again and take this goal kick. Still 1-0. As Evans punts it away. Just towards the left-hand side. O'Grady gets a nod on it. It's volleyed clear by Smith. Jamie Coleman now for Coventry United. Edmonds nods it forward. It looked like a high boot from Jamie Coleman. Edmonds gone down holding his face. Seemed like a little bit of contact. And of course, high boots are certainly frowned upon in football. And we could well be seeing the first yellow card of the game. Coleman is protesting his innocence. I've got no doubt he was going for the ball. Originally didn't seem as if he was going to give it. After a few appeals from the Alvechurch players, he has given the free kick. He's told Coleman, just be careful, I'm not going to put you this time, but it's going to be a free kick to Alvechurch. Tom Turton to take it. Ashmore telling Turton to put it towards the right hand side. There is acres of space on the right if Ashmore wants to make a run. It's Turton's ball, he puts it towards the left, and it's offside immediately against Mark Smith. So that move didn't work well. The referee has not seen the flag, he's seen it now. A good 5 seconds later, and the referee finally acknowledges his assistant with Mark Smith in an offside position. As Rich Morris picks up the ball, places it, ready for the free kick. Here comes Morris. There goes the ball. Towards Chris Cox, goes over the head of Cox. No, he's just got on the end of it. Allows it to come down. Grady makes the challenge on Wardle, but he can't keep it in. And it goes out of play in front of the Willie Nibbs Memorial stand at Spinks Drive. A stand that United fans won't be sitting in for much longer. We've got 9 games left in the league this season. 5 of them are at home, including this one. Moodham does well to dispossess Wardle. The clearance charged down by Deards. Referee says handball. And Ian Long telling his players to get back and prepare for a counter for Coventry United. Cameron's got acres of space on this left-hand side. If Ison could try and pick him out, he's going to try. But he's beaten to the ball by Ashmore. Good defence from Alvechurch. Here's Kevin Thornton back in the sides there after suspension to Courtney Cameron. Good control and kept in by Ben Valence, who's making the overlapping run as Cameron picks up the ball once again. Courtney Cameron onto the left-hand side with Ben Valence. Squares it to Kevin Thornton. He's tripped on the way through. Definite free kick. And Coventry United with the chance to swing one in from the left-hand side. It was a fantastic move between Valence and Cameron. I believe it was Willits who brought Cameron down, who brought Thornton down, sorry. And standing over it is Courtney Cameron. It looks like it's going to be a whip in towards the far post rather than a direct effort at goal. Glasgow's behind, offering another option. I believe it is going to be Cameron. In fact, no, Cameron's leaving it. It is going to be Tommy Glasgow. Towards the far post. Moose is there. As it's Cox, it goes through everyone. And it goes out for a goal kick. Good idea. Execution not quite there. And it remains at 1-0 to Alvechurch. And we've had about 15 minutes at Spinks Drive. Quick reminder that we will not be airing the game on April the 1st, which is where Shawbury United, due to prior commitments, we're not going to be able to cover that match. I can assure you it's not because Coventry City are playing the next day. It's something to do with that. Unfortunately, I am ring announcing with AMP Wrestling. And by the way, tickets are still available. I don't get paid commission though, sadly. Goal kick taken. Ison nods it forward. Brought down well by Chris Cox. Tried to trick his way past Smith. And can't do so with an Alvechurch player there to help his skipper out. Ball upfield. Headed forward by Coleman. It's a little game of head tennis here as Valence nods it onto the left hand side. Will be kept in by Courtney Cameron. He's got Valence in support and Kevin Thornton. Plays it back into defence with Ben Valence. Forward towards Tommy Glasgow. Easily gathered by Turton. Valence heads it forward once again. Glasgow heads up rather than out. Good chest control. Appeals for the foul. Referee says no. Ball down the right hand side by Bellis. Coleman clears once again. Now Musa for United. Courtney Cameron as the Red Greens finally try and get into Alvechurch's half. They have done officially, but they're straight back into their own. And now Alvechurch look to push forward again. Turton to Bellis. Lobbed forward by Edmonds. Dears tries to get on the end of it in the penalty area. Shrugs off the challenge of Jamie Coleman and gets the ball on the right hand side. He's forced into the right hand corner, but it's down line to Edmonds. Now Turton. And Turton's cross is, well, I wouldn't even call it a cross. I think there was a deflection made by Forden, who has got the ball now. Here's Coleman, now Valence, United trying to get the ball away, and they can't. This is what cost them last time, and it cost them a goal. Valence just about able to find Tommy Glasgow now, and Glasgow punts it forward. A little bit ambitious. I don't think O'Grady's going to be getting to that one. But it has won United a throw-in on the left-hand side as Zach Foster is forced to put it out. And the referee is going to take action against someone. I think that it's going to be Jamie Ashmore. The referee asserting his authority. And Willits trying to calm his teammate down as we prepare for a throw-in for Coventry United. This could be the chance they've been waiting for. Lewis Ison, one of two long throw specialists for Coventry United. There goes the ball into the area. It's towards the head of Chris Cox. Cox does get something on it, but it's punted away by Edmonds. Deards is trying to get there, and Coleman misses with the header, and Jamie Coleman has to backtrack now and try to get the ball away from Deards. Luckily, Lewis Ison is there and finds Ben Valence. Hooked away by Valence. Will be brought down by Ashmore. He's got Cameron behind him, and Cameron will let that one go as Ashmore had nowhere to go and has to nod it out for the Coventry United throw. He's going to leave it for Ben Valence. Coventry United starting to get a foothold in this game. Thornton, 1-2 with Valence. Valence's pass deflected. Booted clear by Winwood. He was looking for Deard, but Ison able to play it back to Rich Morris. Hoofs it clear. That's a skill by Chris Cox, but that skill costs him the ball, albeit briefly. But once again, Alvechurch able to make possession their own. United just trying to nick the ball away, but just can't do it. The ball down the left-hand side to Paul, and Coventry United will get the throw. So we're coming up to 20 minutes in, and I think the manager who will be happiest at the moment will certainly be Ian Long of Alvechurch. 9 points clear at the top of the league. Ison trips. Musa just able to get onto the loose ball. It's back with Ison now. Kevin Thornton playing a more deeper role. Valence would just about keep that one in, will he? He will. In fact, no, the referee's called it. It's gone out. It looked like it was just about into me, but of course the linesman is paid to do that job. I'm not, unfortunately. I'm not paid to do any job. But it's going to be Ashmore to take this throw. Edmonds, now Bellis. Surrounded by red shirts, forced to play it down line to Ashmore. Ashmore towards the right hand side of the box towards Deards. A combination of Coleman and Vance able to get it away. Glasgow misses with the header. Turton, Deards is offside, and Coventry United will regroup with the free kick, and United try and take it quickly, but the referee says no. As the wind and rain persist at Spinks Drive, United have got to do the same as they go in search of that equalising goal. It would be a double, of course, for Alvechurch if they sealed the 1-0 win last time out in October. Morris's clearance is towards Chris Cox. Cox misses with the header, and it's brought down by Wardle. Smith just tried to chop it away from Chris Cox. Willits, now Turton. Ball down the right hand side for Deards, and Jamie Coleman does well to shield the ball and play it back to Rich Morris, who's got to get this one away quickly now, and he does just as Deards comes into his 6-yard box. O'Grady is passed to Moodham, a little bit too heavy. Here comes Wardle down the left-hand wing, and it will be a corner kick as this cross is deflected off the leg of Pierre Moodham. Let's try and get the latest scores now From elsewhere, Coventry City still drawing 0-0 at Stadium MK. As Alvechurch gets set for this set piece, in search of that second goal, would give them a little bit of breathing room at Spinks Drive. Turton's delivery towards Willits, and it's headed away by United. Of course, Willits scoring the winning goal last time these two sides met. Cameron does well to win the ball back for Coventry United. The chase is on. Thornton tries to put it through for Chris Cox, and it's punted over the Willie Nibs stand by Jamie Ashmore. Brings an emphatic end to that attack. So 20 minutes gone. Coventry United 0, Alvechurch 1 is the current score, going the second minute from the number 9, Connor Deards. Moving to take the throws. Coventry United look to try and get an equaliser. Musa under pressure from Turton. Side challenge made. Alvechurch come away with the ball. Turton's long ball looking for Deards. He will be beaten to the ball by Jamie Coleman. What can Coleman do with the ball? He plays it back to Rich Morris. And Morris finds Valance in space, but Bellis comes across to try and cut off the left back. Oh, and, well, it would have been a nice way to go from Courtney Cameron to let the ball go down the left wing, but Cameron slipped. And Alvechurch had the ball once again. Here's Turton saying, "Who wants it? Who wants it?" Punts it forward. Can Deards get in the end of this one? Morris comes, and Morris gets something on the ball. We've seen a couple of hairy moments from Morris this season where he's come for the ball and hasn't claimed it. Alvechurch back on the attack with Edmonds. Jockeys for position with Ben Valance. Trying to get past the left back. He's forced into the corner. Crossford in towards the far side where Deards is waiting. But also Josh O'Grady is there and picks up the loose ball and sprints away for Coventry United. Tricks his way past Deards. Lovely footwork from last season's top scorer. Bit of shirt pulling, and Coventry United have got the free kick. I think United would have been better to just continue with play, as Cameron was making a good run down the left-hand side. If O'Grady could have found him, United would have been in a great position. And now they're just going to have to try and find that space again. If anything, I think that was a hindrance rather than a help to Coventry United. Coleman's ball to the left-hand side. And that's surely gone out of play. Yes, it has. The chest control of Cameron a little bit too heavy, and it goes over his shoulder, out of play, and it's an Alvechurch ball. As the rain gets heavier and Spinks Drive, I'm going to have to put the laptop in the airing cupboard if it keeps on going. Ashmore's throw goes over the head of Bellis. Vance gets there. Deards tries to let it go out. Valance keeps it in, and Coleman clears. Great stuff from Coventry United, but Willits clears again. Coleman on the ball, able to slide it away from Bellis. Here come United. Mood him. He's got a O'Grady free on the right-hand side. He's going all on his own, and it was paying off until it was punted out into the stand by Mike Wardle. It's a throw into Coventry United, taken quickly by Moodim. O'Grady tries to trick his way past the defender, can't do it. And Foster puts it down line. Ison slips but still brings the ball back to the red and greens. Here's Kevin Thornton back in the team after suspension today. Long ball to the left hand side towards Courtney Cameron and hooked away by Jamie Ashmore. United straight back on the attack, however, with Ben Vance's throw. Here's Tommy Glasgow in midfield. It's got over the line, has it? It has. And it's a free throw into Alvechurch, just in front of us. So 25 minutes gone. Alvechurch still lead by that single goal. Willett's clearance. Chested well by Lewis Ison. He's got plenty of space to work with. Onto the right now with Pierre Moodhams. United break into Alvechurch's half. Cox's touch was poor. Foster brings it back to Alvechurch. And another attack goes begging. Smith to Foster. Now Turton. Alvechurch trying to get the ball out of their own half. They have done for not for long. Ison puts it back into Alvechurch territory. Moodham back into United's defence with Jamie Coleman as they look to build from the back. Now Pierre Moodham. Alvechurch pressuring United into another mistake. And here comes Dave Bellis for Alvechurch. Onto the left-hand side for Deards. He's got two options in the centre. He's muscling his way past Ison, and the cross caught well by Rich Morris. And Morris looks to get things started once again. Courtney Cameron goes on the run and passes it to Kevin Thornton. Thornton to Glasgow. First touch was poor and punted away by Turton. Dears is offside. And you have to take the free kick quickly with Kevin Thornton tricking his way around the Alvechurch midfielder. Here's Courtney Cameron, pressure from behind by Ashmore. Plays it back into Coventry United's half with Gift Musa. Now Jamie Coleman for the Red and Greens. Looking for the option as Alvechurch close in into the centre circle with Kevin Thornton. Push from behind by Turton. Free kick. Taken quickly by Thornton onto the right with Pierre Mudim. This game's non-stop at the moment. Plays it forward to Chris Cox. Smith gets his foot in there and takes it away, but the clearance only as far as Mudim. Now O'Grady, and once again Smith able to repel Chris Cox's advances. Deards turns and gets past Ison, but holds it up well. Bellis tackled well by Josh O'Grady, despite the warnings of the Alvechurch faithful behind him. Long ball to the left-hand side. Good chest control from Courtney Cameron. He's got Vance behind him if he needs him, but he's going all alone against two Alvechurch defenders, and that was never going to work. Ashmore slides in, and Ashmore's not happy with his defenders. Throw-in taken quickly with Ben Valance into the centre with Glasgow. First touch a little bit too heavy, but he's still got the ball. Still Glasgow finds Cameron free on the left-hand side. Vance making the overlapping run for Coventry United. Cameron goes alone, puts the cross in, stiff from the defender. It nearly allowed Chris Cox in on the ball, but Smith clears. Ashmore, Thornton gets stuck in there, and is he able to? Where he was trying to shield the ball, and Ashmore trips Kevin Thornton up. Free kick to the Red and Greens. And a rather unsportsmanlike gesture there from Jamie Ashmore, moving the ball. No need for that. But Kevin Thornton will get the opportunity now to swing it in from the left-hand side as more United players make themselves available in and around the penalty area. It's Thornton's delivery from the left. Chips towards the far post, towards Chris Cox. Cox's header and a great catch from Paul Evans. The leaping ability of Chris Cox has given Coventry United countless opportunities and goals over the past few months, and it very nearly paid off there. Evans clears with the goal kick. Ison leaps up and brings the ball back for United. Musa onto the right. Can O'Grady catch up with it? No, he can't. Zach Foster will put it out of play in front of the Alvechurch dugout. Well, Coventry United certainly not lying back and taking this. They're going after that equaliser, and they're getting closer. Mudim. Josh O'Grady's got Glasgow to his left, but goes it alone and overruns the ball. Foster now for Alvechurch. Can he get it away? Bellis. Edmonds on the right. Has to play it back to Ashmore, and Ashmore clears. Deards wants it on the left-hand side. It bounces onto the left, and it bounces out of play. Alvechurch seem on the back foot at the moment. Here's Jamie Coleman. Gift Musa. Flicks onto his head and dribbles it away. Musa is caught up in the centre circle. Turton gets it away. Edmonds. Ball down the left-hand side. I don't know if we saw there, but it's only a red and green shirt waiting in the form of Ben Valance. Valance strides down the left-hand side. Tries to find Courtney Cameron. That was never going to work out. It's going to be a throw into Coventry United. The gap was just too narrow on the wing between the turf and the white line. It's going to be Ashmore's throw as Alvechurch seek that elusive second goal. Half an hour in at Spinks Drive. Nodded on by Edmonds, but on the edge of the area it's Lewis Eisen who punts it forward, looking for Chris Cox. Cox won't get there, but Paul Evans in goal will. He'll keep it in, and Cox chases it down. He gets something on the ball, and now Evans has got to race back to his goal, but luckily for Alvechurch it's headed out by Dave Bellis, so Evans has got time to get back. But persistence paying off for Chris Cox. Now Gift Musa from the throw. Ben Valance for Coventry United. Chipped forward towards Chris Cox, beaten in the air by Mark Smith. Turton to Bellis, nods it over to the right. Edmonds, tackled well by Valance, but Turton volleys it clear once again. Dears tries to get onto the loose ball. Jamie Coleman will pick it up for United and play it back to Rich Morris between the sticks for Coventry United. Now Lewis Eisen in plenty of time, plenty of space on the right hand side of the area. Plays it into danger with Musa. Ryan Woodward able to get the tackle in. Eisen just keeps it in on the right hand side across the penalty area to Jamie Coleman as United try and get the ball away. Striding forward unopposed, Jamie Coleman is saying where are the options? He's got Valance to his left. plays it across central defence once again to Lewis Ison. Now Gift Musa. United with a little bit of space to work with in the central midfield, but it's not there for long as Musa is closed down. Here's Kevin Thornton. Onto the right, he's got Moodim there. Plays it back to Josh O'Grady. Switches the play well to Courtney Cameron. And Cameron just about gets on there. A little bit of a push there, definite free kick. And Edmonds is not happy with it. He pushed straight into the chest of Courtney Cameron. You can't argue with that. Well, some players feel they're hard done to by the referee. Without foundation, really. And I think Ryan Edmonds is one of those players. And Kevin Thornton, we saw what his last delivery did. As Chris Cox came very close with the header, forced Evans into a good save. How dangerous will this one be? Will he go it alone, or will he try and find an option at the far post? It's swung in, Ison misses with the header, and it will go out for a goal kick. Well, Terry Anderson was asking for the corner. You can see it clearly came off the head of Lewis Ison from this end. And the Alvechurch fans giving Terry a little bit of stick. I'm sure he won't mind that. So we're well into the last 15 minutes of the first half here at Spinks Drive. As usual, we'll be taking a short break at half-time to swap over the laptop battery. And we'll ensure we can bring you the second half of this match in its entirety. So look for the new live Fred around 10 minutes after we go off air at half-time. Evans' clearance should be easy for Bellis. In fact, no, Musa jumps up and that allows Kevin Thornton onto the ball. And Musa, lovely shimmy there to get away from Winwood's challenge. Onto the right with Josh O'Grady. He's got moved him towards the right if he needs him. O'Grady's going alone here. Takes it past Turton beautifully. It's Josh O'Grady. Scuffed shot. Has it come off Kevin Thornton? They're calling for offside. Referee says no. Thornton looked to be in a offside position. Referee and linesman didn't see it, but it's trickled into the hands of Paul Evans now. If O'Grady got a cleaner contact on that ball, that could have been something special. It was a fantastic run. We've seen some special goals from Josh O'Grady this season. And now Alvechurch have got the throw in. But we haven't got long left in this first half. So around 12 minutes. Turton to Ashmore. Hooks it forward, looking for Bellis. Bellis. And a little bit of a high boot there by the winger Mike Wardle on Lewis Ison. Referee says no foul. And now Ison fouls Winwood. And the free kick taken quickly onto the left-hand side now with Zach Foster. Ball put in, headed up rather than that by Jamie Coleman. It's got to be Morris is a clear now. It's bounced over the goalkeeper and the free kick given against Bellis for a foul on Rich Morris. And Morris clears quickly. He's just looks to get back on the front foot. And once again, Chris Cox beaten as they try and play the long ball forward. Here's Courtney Cameron, stride, stand left. All on his own here. Plays it back to Kevin Thornton. Now Valance. He's got Cameron down the left. Valance's cross. It should be an easy catch. And it is a good catch by Paul Evans. Nervy moment there for Evans as he tried to backtrack onto his line. Evans clears towards Deards. Beaten in the air by Jamie Coleman. Glasgow's beaten in the air himself, but Mooden puts it forward. And once again, who is there for Coventry United? Well, Chris Cox has been playing up front today. You can see White here, Anderson widen up front because he scored 3 goals in his last 2 games. But we saw Cox play up front earlier in the season. He looked largely ineffective, and you have to say, unfortunately, it's the same result today. He's barely been able to get into the ball, get into the air with the ball. They're trying to play the long ball game, but sadly, Alvechurch have 2 of the biggest centre-backs in the league in the form of Smith and Willits. And Willits nods it back to the goalkeeper after another long ball. The long ball game just isn't working for Coventry United, and neither is the ground game. We've seen some good runs from Courtney Cameron down that left-hand side. The full-backs and the centre-backs are getting across to that wing and cutting them out. Thornton causing a little bit of trouble there for Paul Evans. Musa's header only finds Wardle. Foster up line. Moodim cuts it out. Musa. Thornton tries to put it forward to Chris Cox, and once again Smith is there. Smith's long ball dealt with by Jamie Coleman. Cameron pokes it past one player and he's caught by Ashmore. Looked like 6 of one, half a dozen of the other there as both men tried to go for the ball. And the referee, in fact, is calling over Jamie Ashmore. Well, Ashmore's had a couple of incidents today, so you can see why the referee might want to take action. I don't think it's because of the incident itself. I think it's just the volume of incidents that Ashmore's had today. He's at least having a talking to. No yellow card needed. Referee gives Ashmore one more chance. And now United have a chance to punt it forward. They're around 10 yards into enemy territory. As a bit of the odd magic spray is needed for Chris Cox. And he quickly sprints towards the penalty area. And gets back into position as Kevin Thornton takes the free kick. It's towards Cox at the far post. Cox leaps, and once again Mark Smith is the bane of Cox's match. And Smith's actually taken out by Cox, and a free kick given to Alvechurch. And the physio is being called over. I think Smith may have landed awkwardly. Let's go through some scores around the grounds if we can. In the Premier League, Crystal Palace 0, Watford 0, Everton 1, Hull City 0, Stoke 1, Chelsea 1, Sunderland 0, Burnley 0, West Ham 1, Leicester 3. And quickly before play gets started once again, let's have a look at the score at Stadium MK, and it remains scoreless between MK Dons and Coventry City. It's 0-0 at Stadium MK. Evans' clearance. Musa heads it forward towards Cox once again, beaten in the air, this time by Willits. Turton puts it forward. Looking for Deards. Deards chests it down, but Glasgow takes it away from Bellis. Onto the right with Josh O'Grady. Moodim. Long ball forward once again. Mark Smith is there. Winwood. Foster puts it forward. No one there. It's picked up easily by Jamie Coleman. Onto the left with Ben Valent. He's got Cameron forward. All back to do with the ball. Lovely 1-2. And it's hailed out of play. And it will be a... Now, I might make this game safe, but certainly make it safer in the Premier Division, unfortunately, so that's just got to count their steps. Now Courtney Cameron picks it up and leaves it for Ben Valence. Clock ticking towards the break. Valence to Jamie Coleman, back to Valence. As Alvechurch closing in now. Ball forward to Josh O'Grady, who's playing, looks like he's playing the striker role. Cox on the right hand side now. You had to lose that, however. Thornton picks up the ball in the centre circle. Valence, he's got Cameron forward if he needs him. Or he could play it back to Kevin Thornton. Here's Gift Musa. Oh, and once again, United have just got nowhere to go in midfield. Alvechurch are here, there, they're everywhere. Bellis, now Turton. Edmonds. Ashmore puts it forward. There's no one there except for Jamie Coleman. He'll try and keep it in. He does so. Up line, over the head of Cameron. Nodding forward once again by Ashmore. Going to the foot of Ben Valence. Thornton onto the right with Josh O'Grady. Cox is making the run, as is Pierre Moodim overlapping. It's found Moodim just in front of Terry Anderson's dugout. O'Grady strides forward now. He's asking, where are my options? Well, they're all being closed up by Alvechurch players. It's O'Grady running across the centre of the pitch, trying to lose Foster. Coleman onto the left with Courtney Cameron. United's preferred route so far in this game has been the left wing, as Courtney Cameron strides towards the penalty area, and good pressure from Ashmore to force him into the path of Jamie Willits, who is able to bring the ball back to Alvechurch, but not for long. Coleman puts it forward to Valence. Valence to O'Grady. Musa, he's got Moodim in space on the right hand side and plays it across to Moodim. Now O'Grady, United just keep on hitting that brick wall. Tries to chip onto the right hand side, and once again they're beating in the air. But United bring it back once again to a poor clearance from Alvechurch. Now Tommy Glasgow, ambitious strike from Josh O'Grady. I think, in all honesty, that's probably going to be their best chance of getting an equaliser in this game. They can't seem to break down the midfield or the defence of Alvechurch, so a hit and hope from long range could well be the best chance United to have. They have got players who can score from long range. We've seen decent efforts from outside the area from Cameron, Thornton, Cox and O'Grady this season. They've got to make these set pieces and long range attempts count, because they just can't seem to get a decent effort in the box. A goalkeeper. Iceland leaps up and gets the ball. But United duelling with Alvechurch in the midfield, and Bellis with a slide challenge on Kevin behind. Free kick taken quickly. Courtney Cameron trying to catch Alvechurch off guard here. Thornton, Bellis behind once again. Alvechurch tries to twist and turn out of. Done so, but he's been forced back into his own half. Dangerous ball across Deards. It has found Lewis Ison. Moodham lets that one run. He'll keep it on the right hand side and sprints forward. He's dispossessed well by Winwood. Cox able to dispossess the Alvechurch man. Ball forward. Moodham too late, and Smith puts it out off the foot of Moodham. And that's just been the story of Coventry United's half so far. Everything they try is just being pushed back. And the Alvechurch fans have made their way to Coventry today. Quite a few of them. One of the larger away contingencies we've seen this season. Certainly been impressed with what they've seen. It's been United doing all the hard work in the left. Valence puts it onto the left hand side. And he has done, he's kept it in, but not for, well. He tried to make more progress on the left hand side, but it's punted out off Moose's leg by Ryan Winwood. And we're closing in on the area, headed away by Willits. Valence tries to get his head on it, nods it across to Gift Musa. Musa onto the right with Pierre Moodham. He's got O'Grady in front of him. He's got to get to the ball first. He's just about kept it in. Moodham on the far side. He got past a couple of Alvechurch defenders, and it's put out for a corner kick. Good progress made by Moodham, and eventually tapped out of play by Tom Turton. United have got to make these set pieces count. It's a great delivery, it's a poor delivery, and Turton easily able to clear. Not a great clearance as the Glasgow brings it back, and the referee calls time on the first half, and a highly frustrating opening 45 minutes for Coventry United, falling behind inside the first 2 minutes as they just couldn't get the ball away from their 6-yard box. Eventually it was turned home from close range by Connor Deards. Ever since then, United have just been chiselling away at that brick wall that we call the Alvechurch defence. But Mark Smith and Jamie Willits and the rest of the Alvechurch defenders and midfields have repelled every single attack that Coventry United have been able to muster. Plan B is needed for the second half for Terry Anderson, and he'll be looking to implement that in the dressing room at half-time. Half-time score, Coventry United 0, Alvechurch 1. Well, we're going to take a short break now here on Coventry United Match Day to swap over the laptop battery to ensure we can bring you the second half of this match in its entirety. So don't go away, we'll be back in 5 minutes on Coventry United Match Day.